Hi everyone. Just a quick video. As you already know, I have already done a tutorial for setting up a Ballistic Overkill server. Unfortunately, it didn't have any audio in it, and I've been meaning to get around to actually, either modifying that and putting audio overlay on it, or just redoing it all together. Um, Basically, I myself and Guy Landry have basically combined forces, if you may, or whatever, and developed Ballistic Overkill Server Manager. There might be an update probably within a week or two to that, hopefully. This is like the first time I'm getting a break to do anything in a while. So, basically, this video here is going to explain how to set up Ballistic Overkill dedicated server software as a Windows service. Basically, as it stands right now, when you install Ballistic Overkill server software, you actually have to manually launch it. So if you start your system up, you have to manually launch it. The one way out of that is setting it as a startup item on Windows. So when your system starts up, you would think that it would actually start up with it, but if you actually are in a multi-user environment, you actually have to log into the account, or in a multi-user environment, it has to log into that account automatically to launch the server software. Now, the method that I'm going to try to explain in here, whether you are automatically logging in or you're not automatically logging in, it's a single user environment or a multi-user environment, it should not really matter because it actually is going to be launched as a Windows service. Now, it's got its advantages and it's got its disadvantages, but then again, pretty much almost anything has its pros and cons. The only disadvantage that I can think of is the fact that you will not be able to see if the server's successfully brought online, any messages that are sent out from the server itself, like God, it's been so long since I've actually looked to see what the messages are. I believe like the amount of damage that's issued or something like that, the map that's loading, who's joined, who's disconnected, the server threads that are available, stuff like that. You will not be able to see it because basically it's going to be hidden. But here's the advantages though. Let's just say you live in a neighborhood that's prone to power outages. Like say, I don't know, power goes out because somebody hit a telephone pole, power line broke because of age, somebody used excessive electricity in the household and the circuit breaker tripped, whatever have you. If your system's set to automatically go back on, provided there's no critical error that stops the system from going on, like a fried hard drive or circuit, whichever, Windows will automatically load that, Ballistic Overkill server, so you'll be able to just get right into it. If you do a hard reset, whatever have you, once the system comes back up, Ballistic Overkill dedicated server will be launched automatically for you. So that's some of the advantages. However, restarting the server is a little trickier because what happens this way here, it actually loads the launcher that launches the actual server. Those two do work together. You can't do one or the other. It has to be the launcher that launches the server. So to restart it, you would actually have to go in the task manager, kill the bods.exe and bodslauncher.exe, and then start the bodslauncher.exe file again to get the console version up, and then when you reboot, it goes right back to the service version, or start it up through the Services app on Windows. So anyhow, that took a little bit longer than I had expected, but hopefully it gives you a general idea, the pros and cons. Also, another pro to it too is you don't have that window sitting on your desktop interfering with you while you're trying to like work on a document or surf the web or play a game, whatever have you, which has been expressed multiple times, not to put a server on a system that you're actually going to use actively, using also. Try and keep those two separated. And also, it is not a wise idea for any type of server to be ran on Wi-Fi. Those are two taboos. You're asking for trouble. If you have any questions or any feedback for this video, you can comment it on the YouTube channel, or you can in the group if you may. I will also have this information here. As you can see, this here will be in the description of the video, so you know where to go to get with this, that, and whatever have you. But anyhow, assuming that you already have Ballistic Overkill dedicated server already installed on your system, basically we can go in here and work on that. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel of uninstalling the server software, reinstalling it, downloading it, configuring it, whatever have you. I'm not going to go through all that because I already have it installed. I actually just deleted the server software before making this video. I am on my Mac right now that originally hosted Catalor's server, and as you see me looking over here, I'm actually looking at the now new server that's on the 8350. But anyhow, to basically convert the Ballistic Overkill dedicated server software to an actual service, you want to launch the Service Manager here, click on Add. We can give it a name. I typically just do this. And what I'm doing is I'm actually copying off the actual server's view, which I got that off of this one originally, so give you an idea of that. Over here you want to go, as soon as this loads up, I'm having issues with this system right now. And as you can see, it's not looking good. So while this is taking its time and doing its lag, you want to go to where you have your Ballistic Overkill server software installed. There we go. So we want to go to the Ballistic Overkill server directory. You don't want to do that file. Do not do that file because it will not work. You want that file there, the BODS launcher.exe. Now, as you can see, they're automatically loaded. Now, this part here is also very critical. This whole thing is actually really critical. You want to set it to this one here particularly, because otherwise it's not going to know what to really do with it. I do not know, I forget if the interactive service does or does not matter, but I checked that just for safety's sake. The start mode, you want this one here because that's actually what matters. So when you shut down the system, start up the system, restart the system, whatever have you, go figure. The load order group, I just leave that blank. You want to put local system in there. Password, nothing really needed. This video is for examples purposes of setting up Ballistic Overkill dedicated server software as a Windows service. So now, I'll give you a little quick view. Oh, there's my services. I'm going to show you that I do not have this installed already. Damn, can't believe I beat that monster. So anywho, I'm going to show you that I do not have, oh actually I did have it in there. Whoops. So as you see, I don't have it in there. You know, I told you in the beginning of the video I did actually delete that, and I kind of forgot about that. So yeah, if it was running and you delete it from this program here, the Services Manager, you might encounter that little issue. But as you can see, I refreshed it, there's no Ballistic Overkill server that I see here. So we go back here, as you can see, just to double check, it should say BODS Launcher for the internal service name, user visible name, Ballistic Overkill Server. The binary path as, yeah, the 132 and raw version of that, they both should be the very same. Service type should be Win32 program as service via ServMan. Interactive service should be checked, or at least I'm pretty sure it should be checked. Auto started by Service Control Manager during startup. Local order group and the login account password are both blank. Login or log-on account should be local system. The service description could really be anything, to be honest with you. As this video says, this video is for example purposes of setting up Ballistic Overkill dedicated server software as a Windows service, whereas on the actual server, I do have Ballistic Overkill Server by Queries. Is required to accept connections from the Ballistic Overkill game client. The service and its required files are disabled. Connections will not be possible. So whatever. So click OK to save that in there, and you can scroll down to see if it's actually taken. And here it is, auto. And you look over here, you don't see it, but refresh the screen, and you should see Ballistic Overkill right there. It will not start the service by default, so you gotta go this way here, or you can tap it over there, or double click and tap start over there, whichever. So when you click that and you click that, if all's done well, your server's now up and running, and you should be able to get people to connect to you. But rule of thumb, you do actually have to configure your firewall and router to actually allow those incoming connections to be